Welcome back to the show. Check out these headlines we have for you today. We got Hester Peirce from the SEC. Raoul Pal sits down with John Deaton. You're going to want all of it. BlackRock, where we at with the spot Bitcoin ETFs? We're going to give it to you. And has Ripple and Uphold connected to real-time payments? Oh, we got that and so much more. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. And by the way, we're going to be discussing Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab and their depopulation plan inside the Freedom Zone. You're going to want every single bit of that. Oh, it is so dark, but you need to know it. You need to know what they're planning. Right here, $1.62 trillion market cap for cryptocurrency. The market is off by 1.6%, 41,100 plus for Bitcoin at the moment, and we're 2,100 plus for Ethereum, 90.5 billion plus for Tether market cap. Number 5 spots XRP at 60 cents, off by 2.8 on the 24-hour and almost as much on the 7-day. Range of price is 59 cents on the bottom, 62 on the top, sitting smack dab in the middle. So we could see overnight we had quite a bit of a pullback or a sell-off, however you'd like to say it. But take a look at this, because let me tell you what's still going strong. It's private equity. It is the companies that are building out this space with the most affordable minimums, broadening investment opportunities for all. There's no question about it. All you have to do is click the link underneath the video. And let me give you an example of this. Looky here. This is from back in November when it talked about Circle, which is on the Link2 platform. So is Ripple. Stablecoin behemoth Circle mulls over a 2024 IPO report. Well, it's not gone public yet, but they do plan some kind of a public exit. They were going to do it in 2022 and called it off with the SPAC plans. But you can still get the Circle private equity on the Link2 platform. All you have to do is click the link to the sponsor underneath the video. Just letting you know. That's what I'm doing. That's what we do. Yeah. What are you waiting for? Then there's this. Commissioner Hester Peirce, who we know is not been a fan of the regulation through enforcement at the SEC, Gary Gensler's approach. And yet nothing's really been done other than her really saying, I don't like the way that this is going. But let's listen to this after her disclaimer and hear what she has to say in her most recent comments.
The SEC or my fellow commissioners. And I think that this is what makes it somewhat difficult for me to talk about a lot of these issues because, when I look at what the SEC is doing in crypto, I think I ask a lot of the same questions that a lot of you in this room are asking, which is exactly that. What is the end game? What are we trying to achieve here? Because it's clear that the approach that we've taken so far has not resulted in better investor consumer protection or, massive, ability for us, I would say, to monitor what's going on in the industry. It's just been quite a lot of confusion, and I think that hasn't really served anyone, including us, well. So I've kind of gone back and forth when I think about what the end game is. Is the end game just to say, look, we don't want crypto in the U.S., and so, we'll make it so hard for you to be here that you can just move offshore? Or is it just to really try to force crypto into a mold of entities that we're more familiar with and more used to regulating? So I really can't guess. I mean, I guess, but I can't tell you definitively what the answer is on that. But I think what we should really be doing is focusing on a better end game, which would be to provide regulatory clarity, work with the industry to get to a place where things that should be regulated by the SEC are regulated by the SEC, and people can clearly know when they're in that bucket or not.
It sounds so obvious, but, it is what needs to happen. And I wanted to show that because I'm going to set this up right here. Because I take a little issue with this comment right here. But we love Raoul Pal. But take a listen to this.
but all of the banks know that blockchain technology is the solution. Every one of them.
Agreed.
And they're all working on it. So they're not really fighting us at all. They're just shit scared of Liz Warren and Gensler.
Not so much. That's not where I got it. And respectfully disagree, because I have a great respect for Raoul Pal. I happen to feel like, yes, I agree they all are aware of blockchain solutions. And yes, I agree they're all working on it. But I don't think they're scared of Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler. I think that Elizabeth Warren and Gary Gensler are doing the bidding for the banks so they have as much time as they can to be ready and to suppress the market enough to starve out and scare away money from these young startup projects so that way the banks can come in and buy what they choose and the others can just fail. Business is an ugly world, but that's the way it works. You know, that's how I see it. But respectfully to Raoul Pal. Then we see this. BlackRock again meets with SEC on spot Bitcoin ETF along with Franklin Templeton, Grayscale, and Fidelity. They're making sure they're all ready at the same time. It would certainly appear that way, doesn't it? Shout out to Chad. This is exactly what it feels like. You know, when you think about what's happening, where this is going, why are they all making sure the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted? Unless they're going to bring this thing all the way in. We'll see. Let's look at this clip right here.
Intellectually, I have a hard time with the concept that there's only going to be one network, that there's only going to be one blockchain. That to me, it just doesn't sound, it's almost anti-American. We want competition, we want free markets, and let the best tech win.
Well
you know,
said.
and if that's Bitcoin and Bitcoin becomes all and everything, and then great. And if it's not, fine. If it's you know, the store of value in the digital code is its narrative forever, then fine. And so I just had a hard time staying intellectually following.
Well, also, the weird thing is somehow that community's got itself tied up in knots where, you know, Bitcoin has a very clear narrative. It's a super secure chain. It's battle tested.
Absolutely.
Everyone knows what it is. That's all you need. But what they've then said is, well, nothing else should have value.
Bingo.
Which is this kind of intellectual weird place to end up.
Right.
Because these other things are networks of which people are building entire businesses, use cases, DeFi system, NFTs, all of this stuff, stable coins. That's not happening on Bitcoin. These are different types of use cases for a blockchain. And I just don't see how that kind of weird intellectual knot they get themselves tied up in to say, well, everything else is a scam and it's all worth zero. That's just stupid.
No,
and, you know, it's interesting enough. You know, I'm not a big holder of XRP, but I've always had some. But how much shit that they took because they were around in the early days.
Amen.
Right.
And, you know, it really was a battle of survival of the chains. And I get it, that one gang versus the other. But, you know, it's kind of ridiculous.
Well, it's funny because, you know, the main thesis in the beginning was, oh, XRP is the banker's coin. But now,
listen,
Bitcoin maxis celebrate Larry Fink and traditional.
I know, it's ridiculous.
Banks coming in
and it's centralized ownership of Bitcoin, not decentralized ownership of Bitcoin. But because number go up, it's fine.
Well,
isn't this exactly what we talked about here on this channel? You know, the anti-bank, anti-establishment Bitcoin crowd are now standing on the sidelines cheering Wall Street to bring their big money into this anti-establishment, anti-bank token. Libertarian movement Bitcoin is, but yet they're cheering Wall Street. I think that they don't have a clue who they're really cheering for. Because if they understood the backlash of all of this, when the institutions are done playing with this thing, they'll pull their money and their clients back out of it. And when they do, what's going to happen to Bitcoin then? Will it still look as shiny? You know, I think it's a valid statement. Certainly a valid question. I really do. Now let's take a listen to this about the XRP rabbit hole here.
Thoughts on XRP, if you have any, and if you don't, that's fine.
So I was taken down the XRP rabbit hole by Santiago Velez, who's a good friend and is incredibly smart guy and very thoughtful. So he's like, yeah, the narrative's wrong. This is what it's about. So I'd done a bit of the work on it. Then the court case came out. And so that's when I bought XRP. You know, when you see something like that, it's like, okay, now the price has been massively discounted.
Yeah.
We know it's a real thing. Yeah. Half the people have been shut out of the market. This is the opportunity of a lifetime. So that's when I bought it. And I've held it ever since.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was I bought more after the lawsuit, and it reminded me of the time when Jamie Dimon said that Bitcoin was a fraud for the first time. I bought more Bitcoin on that particular day as well, because I said, if it threatens him to the point where he's going to go that hard, there's got to be something to this. Anyway,
you know, the reason I bought XRP was exactly the same way that I bought Solana, which was like, the crisis arrives, the price gets absolutely smashed, but I can see that there is a vibrant community with real use cases of the chain going on. It's not kind of ghost use, it's real use. So in which case, time to put your capital at work. Simple as that.
Yeah. You know, one of the other big questions, Raoul, was, are you optimistic? What's your overall optimism moving forward with this space? Because you clearly are one of the true leaders out there who rejects tribalism, you're chain agnostic. And I think the best answer is, I asked you this already, but how much of your time is spent on crypto versus traditional finance today?
I mean, look, I use a traditional finance investment framework, but really 99%, well, 100% of my liquid net worth is in crypto. 100%.
Wow.
And it has been for 3 years.
Wow.
It is what I really enjoy. Yes, I'm really interested in technology and this exponential age and AI and robotics and all of that. I do invest in that space as well, but my first love is crypto. I mean, I just love the whole space. I love the people in it. I love the pace of it. I love what it stands for. I love the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
The system changing in front of your eyes. I mean, these are amazing things. You know, what a time to be alive, to be part of this.
Absolutely. Perfect.
It really is. It really is. There's no question about it. And with that being said, take a look at this. New from Uphold. Anyone want to take a guess how they're doing this? Remember, Ripple just announced Ripple payments went live in the US. And remember, Ripple and Uphold have a partnership now for which they are to serve payments. Uphold put this out. Instant withdrawals via real-time payments allows you to instantly transfer funds to your bank account. Now, I have a dear friend of mine who actually did this to see it for himself, and his funds were immediately into his bank. Simple. Set your linked bank account as the destination and move funds instantly. Not a payment. Move the funds instantly. Follow the flash. Bank accounts enabled for instant withdrawals are clearly identified with the flash icon beside them in your Uphold app. Availability: instant withdrawals via real-time payments is available 24/7, 365 days a year. Fees: instant withdrawals are subject to a 1.75 fee, minimum $1, max of $1.50. Learn how to use instant withdrawals via real-time payments with our how-to video here. Listen, this is, to me, this is like use case utility, baby, right? This is amazing. Like, you're going to start to see this happen with tons of financial companies and institutions and small, medium enterprises. Isn't it such that if that demand and that efficiency begins to scale, then what we're really looking at is a potential for something like XRP Ledger or Stellar to serve in a role for something like this.
So in short, our proposals, I think, is a quite simple one. And that is...
And then obviously, for those that don't know, there's new people out here. Let's level set very quickly. This is Chris Giancarlo, former chairman of the CFTC, now the head of the Digital Dollar Project. Take a listen.
That there be a independent enterprise.
Independent enterprise.
Now, it can be a quasi-governmental. There's certainly a role for strict standards and government role in this. But having been in the government, knowing how difficult it is to actually do technological innovation in government, being a representative of government that couldn't build a medical website, and after 3 tries, eventually went to the private sector to get it done.
Now, does that sound like something like Ripple or Stellar that could serve in a role like this as a quasi-government? This is what you hear me talk about when we say that there could be prudential regulation. BlackRock is its own entity, but it is systemically important. It is under prudential regulation. That style is kind of the what I see in my mind, and what he is describing here as an entity that could work to serve for the government's needs and the world's needs to use something under some kind of quasi-government prudential regulation.
This has really got to be built, if it's going to be built on time and built, it's got to be built with private sector involvement.
There you have it.
That entity would make those standard protocols available to the entire existing financial ecosystem.
XRP ledger's a public good.
That entity would make those standard protocols available to the entire existing financial ecosystem.
Possibilities. Something is going to be the trust layer that lots of stuff gets built on. That's programmable.
To banks, payment providers, and others, standard set of protocols.
Ripple is trying to be a payment rail.
They're not trying, Mike. They're doing.
For all the money that sits in between the banking system.
And in fact, if I could just add, that hat is trying to be cool, but it isn't.
And there'll be a new economy built on top of that.
The ability to enhance each other's understanding, the ability to connect the diverse economies, the 200 or so countries in the world, and make sure the payment system works for all different profiles of companies.
My gut feeling is we're not going to know the winner for 3 to 5 years. I'm not positive it's going to be winner take all. The winner is going to be worth a whole lot of money because more and more of the world will get built on top of a trust protocol.
And that hat could get you a free bowl of soup.
We need to make sure that the payments architecture has the right privacy protections so that people can trust using the system, because trust is really the essential linchpin of any payment system.
The world will get built on top of a trust protocol.
We need to make sure that the payments architecture has the right privacy protection.
There you have it. 24 Hours Crypto. Give him a follow. Michael Esbar, Mike Novogratz, Chris Giancarlo. I think it all makes sense. How long does it take for us to get there to find out how deeply involved XRP Ledger may be, Ripple may be as a company, Stellar Foundation, the Stellar XLM protocol? How long will it take to find these things out? I don't know. And what will the answer be when we find out? I don't know. But I like what I'm seeing. And it's not financial advice. It's my digital perspectives. Now, if you want to join us with some real digital perspectives, I told you, we're getting ready to get down into it in the Freedom Zone. Bill Gates, Klaus Schwab, depopulation. Not my words. It's theirs. I'll catch all of you on the next one.